What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to why German sounds so aggressive. Now, before we even get into this video, I think that's a huge stereotype that German sounds aggressive, and it's something that I initially thought, and that's because I hadn't been exposed to much German. But the more you listen to the German language and the more you get used to it, you realize it's really not an aggressive language. And I think whenever I hear Germans yelling, I let that basically frame my entire view of the German language and be like, oh, it sounds aggressive or whatever. Like, you'll have a few experiences with it and then just try and convince yourself that that's the truth. But the reality of it is I don't really think it's an aggressive language like that. It's just when Americans have never heard it before, they'll immediately be like, why do they sound like that? Which is, I get that 100%, but I still want to watch this video though to see why German sounds the way it does, because that's really my question. Anyways, here we go.
We are German, and as such, we are always self-conscious about getting angry in public. Our language is quite the troll.
I can do an evil old Hausfrau. Ess dein Schnitzel, sonst kriegst du keinen Nachtisch.
Deutschland ist ein Land ut Stodtluten.
Ah ja, lass die Hände hoch. Nimm an wegen Schritt. Glaubst du, dass die Deutsche keinen Humor hat, ha?
German sounds harsh and aggressive.
Guten Tag! Ich will ein klein Brotchen haben, bitte schön!
You see what I'm saying? It's so true though. I don't know if this guy's American, but when Americans do impressions of German, it always sounds like that, bro. It's like no one talks like that. Like, why do we... That's why I felt the need to preface this video, because it's like, why?
Das schwarze Brotchen mit dem Käse und das Schinken, bitte schön!
It's a disgusting language. Nobody should ever speak it. It sounds like typewriters eating tinfoil being kicked down the stairs. And somebody is talking to you in German, they're saying, and you think, what is happening to you from behind? How can we make it stop?
Someone, somewhere, is always making fun of our language. But why does German sound so aggressive to the rest of the world? The German language is part of the Germanic branch of the Indo-Germanic language family. Besides German, Dutch and English are also Germanic languages. But while English sounds gentle to many people, German is often described as spat, barked, ugly, dry, cold, harsh, yapping, and military. German is rarely perceived as beautiful. There are several reasons for this.
1. Linguistic characteristics.
German has a lot of gutturals and glottal stops. They can make the language sound harsh. Let's start with guttural sounds. German has the special ach sound, which sounds very throaty. It can be heard in the German words fauchen, which means to hiss, or krach, which means noise. These words are often difficult for non-German speakers to pronounce because these sounds don't exist in widespread languages like English. Next, glottal stops. Germans pronounce vowels very strongly, especially when they appear at the beginning of a word. This causes the vocal cords to open suddenly and all the air that has built up to escape at once. Take the word apple. The German word is Apfel. You can hear it quite well throughout this example. Ich esse oft Äpfel und anderes Obst. In many other languages, the words of a sentence are spoken in a flow. In German, sometimes there's a mini pause before each individual word. Here you can hear the difference. Everything is alright. Alles ist in Ordnung. Of course, I'm overdoing it a bit here, but you get the idea. These breaks can make German sound a bit barked. Some sounds exist in almost all languages, such as M and B. Others are quite unique and only appear in a few languages. In English, there's the diagraph th, for example in thanks. Germans, including me, often struggle to pronounce that. Italian, which is often considered to be a beautiful, melodious language, uses mainly vowels and only a few exotic sounds. German, on the other hand, has many rare, complex sounds, which might come off as strange. We use so-called Umlaute, such as ä, ö, and ü. Again, often hard to pronounce for non-German speakers. And there's the sz. It looks like this and is essential for our all-time.
Bro, I've always wondered what this is. You know, I feel like this is in addresses very often. Like a lot of different addresses for like a company. Let's say it's on the back of the product or whatever. Always has this B. I don't know. Interesting.
Time favorite.
It's not a B, it's an S set, but that's always what I've thought of it as.
Scheiße. The
Yeah.
SZ is used to
It's always in a word that starts with S too. Yo, what is
indicate
that?
the hard S sound. Plus, many German words just have a lot of consonants. For example, Strumpf, or a classic selbstverständlich, which means of course. German is complicated, and as humans we often shy away from complexity. But isn't the real challenge to transform complexity into something enjoyable and intriguing? That's kind of the ethos of this channel and also the essence of today's sponsor. Brilliant. Brilliant.
2 infinite words.
This is a not made up, absolutely real German word with 79 letters. Rinderkennzeichnungs-Fleischetikettierungs-Überwachungsaufgabenübertragungsgesetz.
You see what I'm saying? Like, they took the compound words way too far. This is like 10 words in one word, bro. What does that even mean? Tell me.
We will not bother you with what it means here.
No, I want to know. Oh, I see.
Trying to tell you is this. German has a high number of compound words. These can be really cool because the word often literally describes what it means. For example, you have a house and a Tier, an animal, and together it is a house tier, a pet. Though as a people, we seem to have made it our goal to put together as many words as possible.
Yes.
This has led to many long and insanely complex creations. Mark Twain already made fun of this word and many others in 1880 in his famous essay, The Awful German Language. He writes, "These things are not words, they are alphabetical processions, and the inventor of them ought to have been killed." And because the words are weird, a lot of non-German speakers find them very entertaining. They have something weirdly over-precise and orderly about them. Combined with their guttural and glottal stop consonant-loaded delivery, it can give them a military touch. Ironically, we have a word for this. Konsonantenschlacht. Every German-speaking actor or model has to do the German word quiz on an American talk show at least once.
Bezirksschornsteinfegermeister. Schmetterlingsbeinschlag.
Backpfeifengesicht.
Albeit this last one being an absolute banger of a word, meaning a face that's just inviting a good slap like Jimmy Fallon's, these shows only strengthen the image of the difficult and weird German language. And this leads us to
3 prejudices.
What do people think of when they think of Germany?
And they're saying to you something like, we have been better, but we're very vibrant in the theater and arts and so on. All the time you listen to this, you're thinking, Hitler.
During the 2 world wars, the German naturally became the enemy in many countries. German-American relations changed drastically. In the US, the teaching of German was banned. German programs were no longer allowed to be played on the radio. Authorities called for a boycott of German goods. Streets and even sauerkraut were renamed. Hitler is possibly history's most terrifying figure. Germany's history, once so gruesome, it is rightly so echoed, processed and analyzed countless times in all forms of media, so it may never be forgotten. According to many linguists, the perception of the German language is in part the result of these historical and socio-cultural contexts. German might have an image problem. Linguists would point out that you shouldn't judge a language based on its sound. What sounds strange to one person is beautiful to another. And if you label a language as ugly, you might miss out on fascinating insights into other worlds of thought and sound. So lastly, let us introduce you to some beautiful German words you can pretentiously incorporate into your Sprachgebrauch. Fernweh describes the opposite of homesickness, the longing for distant places. Weltschmerz is a feeling of knowing that the world will always fail to meet your expectations because of the prevalence of pain existing throughout it. And lastly, Treppenwitz, a joke or thought that you think of too late, just as you walked out the door, already on the stairs. Like, I'm sure there's a nice way to finish the video here, but I guess it just won't come to me until we hit publish.
Hey, that was a good ending. I don't know why I'm clapping. No, but guys, honestly, I've always thought that the German language is beautiful. I'm not just saying this either. Like, the German language is beautiful. I remember reacting to a video about compound words specifically a while back, and I really was blown away. You know, these words at the end, these are all really beautiful words, and the way in which they're able to describe such distinct yet complex feelings is something truly amazing and out of this world. So that's something I really do love about the compound words. But I completely agree, and I think that the German language definitely has an image problem. A lot of people, like I actually explained before this video even started about myself, like, you get a few exposures to the language, and then most of it is just stereotypes and your preconceptions about the language. And of course, Germany and the country's history, that is going to have a massive effect on how the language is viewed as well. And I didn't even know the history about that, of us banning teaching the German language and I guess German radio, and changing the name of sauerkraut or German programs on the radio. You know, I'm sure that goes much deeper than that, but I didn't quite realize how much of an impact that had, especially just on the language. So, you know, behind all this stuff, behind people saying it's aggressive, behind people saying the language is nasty and stuff, is a whole array of emotions and views about Germany that are definitely not the most positive in general. And that's just a result of history. So, again, people are breaking out of this, thankfully. And, you know, I don't think the view on Germany is just fully negative like that. I mean, there's people admire Germany a lot. We're always talking about, oh, the German engineering. You know, I say that, but I know that's annoying to hear because that's what everyone always says. But, like, you know, people are, especially in the United States, everyone wants to visit Germany. Everyone's like, oh, you went to, whenever I tell people I visited Germany, everyone's like, wow, that's so cool. So I think the views on it are definitely changing as we progress throughout history. But at the same time, there's certain elements of those views that will take some more time to break through and change. I guess that's my thoughts on it. But yeah, this was a great video. I really enjoyed this. And again, it's those breaks and those, I don't know, not those words that you start out with a lot of volume at the start of the word, and then it kind of just sounds very broken up. That's the German language, which was described here. So it's a beautiful language, and I want to learn some more German and actually use it in Germany. That's kind of the dream. And yeah, we'll see what we can get up to in the future. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.